My name is Alex. I've always been fascinated by the mysteries of abandoned places. There's something about the eerie silence and the sense of history frozen in time that draws me in. So when I heard about an abandoned military research base on a forgotten island in Indonesia, I knew I had to explore it. Little did I know that this decision would lead me down a path of terror and death. As I arrived on the island, I was struck by its desolation. The air was thick with humidity, and the only sound was the distant cry of seagulls. The research base loomed ahead of me, its rusted gates creaking ominously in the breeze. I entered cautiously, my flashlight cutting through the darkness like a knife. The buildings were dilapidated and covered in graffiti, but there was something else lurking in the shadows, a feeling of malevolence that sent shivers down my spine. I made my way through the complex, exploring each building in turn. Most of them were empty, their contents long since plundered by looters or reclaimed by nature. But as I ventured deeper, I began to uncover signs of something far more sinister. In one building, I found rows of cages, each containing the skeletal remains of some long-forgotten experiment. In another, I stumbled upon vats filled with strange, bubbling liquids that seemed to pulse with a life of their own. And then there were the documents, pages upon pages of incomprehensible scientific jargon that hinted at unspeakable horrors. But it was when I reached the heart of the complex that I truly realized the extent of the darkness that lurked within. There, in the depths of an underground laboratory, I found something beyond my worst nightmares. It was a creature, or perhaps it would be more accurate to call it a monster. It stood over 8 feet tall, its skin a sickly shade of gray and its limbs twisted and deformed. Its eyes glowed with a malevolent intelligence as it snarled and snapped at me, its teeth gleaming in the dim light. I knew then that I had to escape, to warn the world of the horrors that lay hidden on this forsaken island. But as I turned to flee, I heard a sound behind me, the sound of something moving in the darkness. I ran, my heart pounding in my chest as I raced through the labyrinthine corridors of the research base. But no matter how fast I ran, I could not escape the feeling that I was being pursued, that something terrible was hunting me, waiting to strike when I least expected it. And then just as I reached the exit, it happened. I felt something cold and clammy wrap around my ankle, pulling me to the ground with irresistible force. I screamed as I fell, my flashlight clattering to the ground as I struggled to break free. But it was no use. The creature had me in its grasp, its fetid breath hot against my face as it loomed over me. And then, with a final desperate cry, I felt its teeth sink into my flesh, tearing me apart with savage fury. As darkness closed in around me, I managed to hit the record button on my camera, knowing that this would be my final testament to the horrors I had witnessed. And as my vision faded and the world slipped away, I whispered a warning to whoever might find my video. A warning to stay away from this island to avoid the darkness that dwells within its depths. If you ever find this video, don't come near this island. I repeat, stay away from this island.